The man only wanted to spend $100 on regular gas, but the hard-of-hearing old man misheard him and filled him up with $1,500 worth of premium. The man was completely confused, but he figured the old guy had it rough, so he just paid. Feeling a little bad, the old man gave him 2 bottles of water. He had no idea those 2 bottles would end up saving his life. At the time, he was driving home to celebrate his daughter's birthday. As soon as the car entered the tunnel, Chris felt everything start shaking. Seconds later, part of the tunnel collapsed. He floored it, trying to get out, but he still couldn't make it. Chris turned on the headlights. His face was covered in dust. Once things settled down, he grabbed his phone and called for help, but there was no signal. He stretched the phone toward the back seat and finally got a little reception. The call went through. The rescue team said they'd be there in 10 minutes. Chris finally relaxed. He grabbed a bottle of water and drank about a third of it in one go. Soon, the rescue team arrived, but when they saw what had happened, they were stunned. A landslide had completely blocked the tunnel. The media quickly reported the accident. Chris's personal information was also leaked. News outlets were fighting for the headline and rushing to interview him live. Rescue Chief Tom was furious. He grabbed the reporter's phone and hung up. He was worried Chris's phone would die. If they lost contact, finding him would become much harder. Then Tom called Chris and explained that the rescue would take time. He told him to ration the water for 7 days. Chris completely broke down. That meant he'd be stuck there for at least a week. The next morning, Tom personally led his team to the tunnel. The entire path was blocked. Then one of the rescuers accidentally hit the horn. Chris heard it. He quickly called Tom and said he'd heard the horn. To pinpoint his location, the team honked a few more times, but the noise triggered another collapse. Tom rushed into the vehicle, hit the gas, and barely made it out of the tunnel. He immediately called Chris. Luckily, Chris wasn't hurt. Then Chris noticed the number 3 written on a ventilation pipe. The rescue team finally knew where he was. They brought in an excavator and started digging him out. Meanwhile, Chris was checking his supplies in the car. Suddenly, he heard something ahead. He looked closer. It was a dog. He followed the dog and found a woman. She was trapped under a huge rock with a metal rod piercing her body. Luckily, Chris found her. She asked if he had any water. Chris hesitated but went back to the car for some. 1 bottle was still sealed. The other was almost empty. He hesitated again, then poured a little more into the nearly empty bottle. After she drank, she begged him to give some to her dog, too. Chris wasn't thrilled, but he still gave the dog some. Then he wiped the dust off her face and told her the rescue team would get them out. After calming her down, Chris returned to his car. He took out the cake and smelled it. It was still good, so he ate some. He packed the rest away and left it beside him. But when he woke up, he found the dog eating the cake. He picked it up and saw it was completely gone. Furious, he started yelling at the dog. The woman asked what happened. Chris just said he'd had a nightmare. A few more days passed. The woman asked if he still had any water. Seeing how much